Welcome back, everyone. I have a meta update for you guys. Our meta is fundamentally different from Japanese meta during this time simply because we got a ban list. The ban list hit black. We had lost Ice Age and Moria. And with those gone, there are fewer people playing stuff like Rob Lucci, which was like a gatekeeper for fast-paced deck. Now we see an emergence of fast-paced decks coming back in the Japanese meta, and a lot of the stuff is stuff that we can play now. So if you look at set 11 meta, there's a lot of Animal Zoro and surprisingly Bello Betty. And I decided to do the Bello Betty deck profile today simply because it is super cheap. It's like basically all bulk. The Zoro one is a lot more expensive simply because that EB01 chopper is like $40, but both are actually very good. So with that, let's get started. So this, if you don't know what it does, once per turn, you may trash one Revolutionary Army type up to 3 of your Revolutionary Army character or character with the triggers, gain 3,000. Now, we used to build this with a lot of other stuff that had triggers that were just good, you know, like Okiku and Satori, stuff like that. But with the stuff from set 9, we actually got the last half we got the yellow half of the Revolutionary Army stuff in set 9. We just couldn't play it in set 9 simply because there were still a lot of black Luccis running around. But now that we are a pure Revolutionary Army deck, we can play the stage, which basically makes our deck a little bit more consistent. So you may trash one card from your hand, rest the stage, look at 3 from the top of your deck, and add a Revolutionary Army. This is basically the Kingdom Germa cycle out, fix our hand, get better cards, which is actually really good. Wasn't playing it before simply because we were playing a lot of non-Revolutionary Army for the yellow half. We were playing a lot of for the red, but not for the yellow. Of course, our Searcher, the Searcher is actually very important in this game, more important than in most other decks, simply because she can be used as a body. You toss a card and make her a 5, so grab a card, toss a card, she's still an attacker. So it's actually a lot more important in this deck because everybody actually matters in this. This Koala 2K counter on play. If your leader has the Revolutionary Army, give up to one of your opponent's character -3. Now, I do want to say that this deck is sorely lacking in defense. It is very glass cannon. So this is one of our few 2K counters. There are 2K counters that our Revolutionary Army that we have not gotten yet. So there is a yellow Sabo that I don't believe we have yet, is a promo. And then there is the red Sabo 2K counter that comes out in EB02 that we'll have in about a month. I'll show where I would put that once we get to that card. Next, we have 4 Bartholomew Kuma on play. KO one of your opponent's character with 2,000 power or less. So essentially to take out a baby blocker if it comes out, and then on trigger it also comes out. So free body on board. If your opponent does start clearing your board and then they hit you, you can actually pull it out. Now this is where I would put the other 2K counter when it does come out. So this one was really tricky because on paper it seems like a really good card. So on play, if you have 2 or less life card, draw 1 card. I mean, extra cards are always good, right? And then it has the same trigger effect. If your leader has a Revolutionary Army type and you and your opponent has a total of 5 or less that's combined, you basically play this card. So the trigger is the same as all the other Revolutionary Army that we got in set 9. However, the reason it's not as good is because, like I said, we are very glass cannon. If we actually are that low in life, we generally don't need the extra card. We're like going for games, so this actually doesn't do too much. It is nice to play off of the Koala, but once we get to it. But like I said, we got all this stuff from like set 9. We just couldn't play it in set 9 because, we had a lot of Rob Lucci's running around. But I feel like now that red is coming back with the baby red stuff, I think some people will actually jump back into playing stuff like black. We'll have the pendulum swing back the other way. All right, next we have 4 Inazuma. This is the rush card. If you have a character with 7,000 or more, other than this card gets rush. So you drop something, pump leader effect, and then basically drop this, it has rush. Next we have the Karasu, comes out as a blocker. Nothing more, same trigger effect. And then, of course, the best Karasu, which is on play if your leader has Revolutionary Army, give up to one of your opponent's leader or character cards minus 1,000 during the turn. So comes out immediately, is already helpful to push damage. We're like basically just punching in the face with this deck. But then it also has the when attacking. If this character has 7,000 or more, give up to one of your opponent's leader or character minus 1,000 as well. So it will continuously give you the effect as long as he doesn't die quickly. And then next we have 4 Lindbergh. This is something this is like the only one that we play that has a trash, that you have to trash to play this card. And I mean, it's worth it simply because when attacking, this character has 7,000 or more power, KO one of your opponent's character with 3,000 power or less. So this is basically used to constantly remove like small blockers so that all your other attacks does punch in the face. Next we have 4 of the set 9 Bartholomew Makuma. Yes, it's still a Revolutionary Army. If your leader has, it's the same trigger if you have 5 or less. But the reason we play this is because, I mean, 1, it can potentially come out, and 2, it is a 2K counter. And this is not a bad body to come out of 4 or 5 with these stat lines is actually amazing. 4, Ivankov. Once per turn, this character has 7,000 power or more, up to one of your play up to one of your Revolutionary Army character with 5,000 power or less from your hand. So sometimes you can just drop it out since you don't have all 3 bodies on board yet. You drop it out, give that extra pump to this just to build your board wider so that if your opponent does take out whatever you did pump and attacked with, you actually still have 2 standing characters to attack with next turn. So this is really good for basically controlling the pacing, or actually basically maintaining the pacing. Next we have this Emporio Ivankov, which is basically a +1. On play, look at 3 from the top of your deck and play up to 1 Revolutionary Army type character with 5,000 power or less, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in order. Most of our stuff are pretty weak, but that doesn't matter simply because our leader pumps them up 3K, right? And then, you know, stuff with Karasu, we were basically punching in the face a lot. So this is actually really good for that +1. And finally, we have the Koala. Blocker. This is like one of our few blockers. This is one of 2 blockers. On play, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand. Play 1 Revolutionary Army type character with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. If you do, draw 1. So it's a nice +1, and because it is a blocker, we can potentially drop it out, take the life, and basically speed up the game, basically building something bigger. If we drop this out early enough, it's actually really useful. It does get a lot of effects, a lot of advantage. So that is my Bello deck profile. I will put up some more videos of this, and as well as Usopp. I have not given up on Usopp. I have to change it a little bit simply because now we have a lot of these faster paced decks, and when faster paced decks, something like this, hits Usopp really hard, and I have to take the damage and add cards to hand too early, it essentially shut Usopp's effect off. So now I have to like maneuver Usopp to basically play more control cards early game. So look forward to that. I will have that updated deck profile for that as well, and then I will do gameplay videos. So like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see next. Thanks for watching.